Okay, so this is an overview of a prototype shader-based VJ app I'm working on. There's still a fair amount to do. Every time I look at it, I see new things to add, and I'm still working out some bugs, but for the most part, it's working. And I'll take you through how it works. So the meat of it is this easy shader class I created, which can take in pretty much any GLSL shader and parse it for any custom uniforms. Right now it only recognizes float uniforms, so no vec2 or vec3, but it does also input U-mouse position XY, so that's a vec2, and textures. It can take any number of textures as inputs, and texture resolutions. So the way it works is just run it and show you how. So there's a couple shaders already preloaded in here, so you can just click the shader and drag it around, reposition it however you want. And each shader has a way of exporting its texture to another shader. So it's kind of based on the idea of node-based VJ app, or really the inspiration was modular synthesis. So that's kind of the direction I'm going in, is analog video through modular video synthesis. So I'm trying to figure out how to make shaders that sort of simulate analog synthesis, but I'm not quite there. So I've made some simple shaders that can do things like extract color channels and send that as a texture, and then recombine color channels, and do some basic modification, high pass, low pass. So kind of based on the idea of wave shaping in synthesis application. So to patch one shader to another, to send the texture as an output texture into another shader's input texture, just press P. Gives you this line. And then if you click on another shader, it'll accept that shader's texture as its input texture. So you can see here, this is a little GUI overlay. Shows you the name of the shader file. You can change the time, speed, and you can change U-mouse X and Y. So changing U-mouse X and Y in this shader has some crazy effects, distortion effects, and then you can slow down time, speed up time using this time slider. You can do the same with this shader, and you'll see kind of the effect on that one. So I can actually, I think this one has no effect on U-mouse X and Y, but the time speed has an effect. So one nice extra is that you can just drag and drop shaders, from your desktop Fragment shaders only into the app, and it'll just load it. So go with a high pass here. So it's blank right now because there's no texture input, but I can take this as a texture input, feed it into that, and then change the power of, this is a high pass, so it'll pass anything higher than this threshold, and then this is kind of like a roll off, so it doesn't completely obscure everything under that threshold. But this shader, which is here, blank right now, it does do that. So you can do that and change the threshold. You can see it's kind of a hard threshold. You can also scale these up and down, around. Another thing I was working on is a color separator. So this will take, say, the color channel from this. We could take the blue channel from this, and we could take the green channel from this. So now we have those 4 channels. Let me just minimize these. So we've got red, green, and blue here. And then we can recombine them. So there's the red, there's the blue, and there's the green. There's another one here. This will take 2 textures and overlay them. Oops, yeah, it's still working out bugs. So there's a few more shaders. This is a kaleidoscope. Make it crazy or make it a little more elegant. Ah. Okay, so once you have your final texture here, there's a little bit of resolution loss due to the way the textures are being passed, which is something that can be worked out in the code. But once you have that texture, you'll see it show up in Syphon. So any other program that can take in a Syphon input will see that texture, such as MadMapper here. So you could turn this into a mapping tool. So there's the texture, and I'll just add cutout, and then you can map that to a 3D object on your projector. And you can take any part of the screen and do that. So there you have it, live VJing using shaders. Still a lot of work left to do, but you know, that's the basic idea. The nice thing is then once you have the mapping worked out, then you can, you know, you can alter these uniforms and it'll show up on your projection. You can alter any of this stuff. That's that. Thanks for watching.